clown virgins, clown virgins. We're getting together to make the world better. Clown virgins, clown virgins. We'll make you laugh and play, we'll take your blues away.
Okay, yeah. So I'm Isaac or Isaac, depends on the language you speak. Yeah, I've been working with Sue since 2009. When I first did Clown Through Mask. I started as a translator, thanks to Chris, my lovely friend Chris Marty there. She went all the way to Canada without speaking a word of English, and we just connected, and I just got to spend the whole workshop alongside her. And it's 16 years later, so yeah, something like that, and I'm still around Sue, bugging her and learning from her. Basically, that's it.
Beautiful. Thanks, Isaac. Mélanie, could you go next?
Hello, Mélanie. Or Mélanie. I had the chance to meet Sue. It was completely, I didn't know about Clown Through Mask. It was a workshop. I just took the chance to, and an entire different world from what I've known. I've studied with Francine Côté and Yves Dagenet, who are more practical, grammatical, and so Sue just opened another world to me, and then we came back the year after, and a few years later I had the urge to create a show, so I called her and we create that beautiful show together, and that's how and now I'm using that approach, which is a sacred clown, all day long, as a clown, as a human. Thanks, Sue.
Beautiful.
Thanks, Zayak. Thank you, everybody, to be there.
Mélanie. Mélanie. Is that better? Mélanie, not Melanie.
Sexy.
Thank you. All right, Marina, how about you go next? Marina.
Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Puedo hablar en español?
Sí, claro. Todos van a entenderte.
¿Todos? ¿En serio? Bueno, estoy en Argentina, soy Marina. Conocí a Sue en el año 2005 porque escuché sobre ella. Alguien habló de ella en Brasil. Y luego, gracias a Cristina Martí, que la trajo a Buenos Aires en el año 2007, hice mi primer curso. ¿No? ¿Cuándo? 2006. Perfecto.
So Chris brought Sue over to Argentina in 2006. Just translate.
Ok, 2006. Hice un curso de 3 días y a partir de ahí empecé a perseguirla a Sue por todo el mundo hasta que logré ir a Canadá en el 2009 a hacer todo el curso completo. Ahí es donde conocí también a Isaac. Y a partir de ese momento, bueno, me cambió toda la visión del trabajo del clown que hasta el día de hoy, gracias a su trabajo. Eso.
Perfecto. Thank you, Marina. And Chris, last but not least, please say hi.
Bueno, yo voy a hablar en castellano, no entiendo mucho inglés y por eso, gracias a eso, Isaac ha sido traductor y entendí que agradecía algo así. No entendí qué pasó con Tomás, pero no importa, o vendrá más tarde, imagino. Yo la conocí a Sue en el año 2006. ¿Por qué? Porque estaba armando un festival de clown en Buenos Aires, en el Centro Cultural Ricardo Rojas, que depende de la UBA, la Universidad de Buenos Aires, y me hablaban de una tal Ángela Castro. Y le pedimos, a Ángela Castro, le pedimos información a ver si quería venir al festival y nos pidió una suma de dinero que era, todavía se la tendríamos que estar pagando. Entonces me fijé quién fue su maestra y una de sus maestras era Sue Morrison. Entonces dije, vamos a la fuente. Si ella es buena, su maestra debe ser buena. Y entonces ahí nos contactamos con Sue y Sue dijo, ok. Y así fue como empezamos con Sue. En ese momento estaba haciendo un evento que se llamaba Clowns no perecederos, al cual participaba Marina, y decidí que solo el grupo, que lo hacíamos a casi ad honorem, tenía la oportunidad de estudiar con Su, que era una maestra, una gran maestra, que tenía otra mirada y interesante, porque nosotros veníamos de Lecoq, una mirada europea, y Sue Morrison proponía una mirada americana, que es donde nosotros pertenecemos, América. Entonces, bueno, ahí empezó todo. Y después, bueno, también la empecé a seguir. Brasil, Perú, Canadá, por todos lados. Florencia, Ibiza. Bueno, por donde sea yo íbamos, hacíamos lo que podíamos. Ese es el resumen.
Perfect. Okay. As you can tell, I'm trying to get Sue here, so I missed a lot of that, Chris, and I'm not able to translate. But Isaac, do you want to give a quick translation of what Chris just said?
Sure, yeah. Chris was saying that she met Sue in 2006. She was trying to organize a workshop, and she was trying to get Angela Di Castro, I think, and she couldn't participate. So she went to the source. She went to see who Angela's teacher was, and found Sue Morrison. And yeah, after that, it sort of all started happening. As myself, as Marina was saying, and as Chris is saying, we sort of kept on working and following Sue and trying to learn from her perspective, because it was different to us. It changed and moved something in us that was different. It was not European. It was more like an American, where we come from, the three or the four of us, and it was interesting to us.
Beautiful. I really want to give people, I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily have a familiarity with clown through mask and what that is, and this Pochinko tradition. And without going into a lot of depth, I wonder if maybe each of you could just pick one moment from your first clown through mask workshop, like a meaningful, significant moment that would help to illustrate or give the feeling for the people listening what this work is like. I'll give one example in my own case. There's an exercise called Fantastic Spaces. We bring an object that it's meaningful, and just be present in front of the audience with the object and have a connection with it. And I brought some postcards that had been sent to me by a former girlfriend who I'd just broken up with. So it was very meaningful object for me. And I came on with these postcards, and I didn't know what to do with them. And I just felt this anger and sadness build up in me. And then my impulse, I think Sue could see the impulse, and she said, "Just go with the impulse. What do you need to do right now?" And I just tore one of the postcards in half and threw it on the ground, like with this like impetuousness, and everybody laughed. And Sue was like, more, go more. And I just started tearing up all these other postcards and ripping them up into pieces and throwing them around and creating this kind of shower of confetti. And the audience were just, this is just the other participants in the workshop were laughing uncontrollably. And I suddenly found myself in this space where I was being recognized for this real raw emotion that I was able to fully embody and channel. And somehow everyone connected with that in the moment. And it was just this sort of euphoric, beautiful moment of recognizing the truth. And I think that was where it clicked for me, like, oh yeah, that's what this is all about. The work is very, very, very profound in that way. Do you all have just one moment you could share of that kind? It could be anything very insignificant or about the masks or about a turn, anything like that. I'll just ask who wants to go first. Mélanie. Great. Mélanie. Sorry. Mélanie.
Okay, so Isaac, if you want to translate my English French, no. Sorry about. Okay, for me, it was because to go through 5 weeks, you do 6 masks, and there is always the experience and then the innocence. Always experience before innocence, otherwise we're just crazy. And there was the third mask, and my experience was clearly for me fear, because I've been in fear all the way when I was looking for that compelling thing. And at the end, like 1 second, it was why. And then Sue asked me, what is the compelling thing? What is that mask? I said, of course, fear, because I was in fear all the search, and then just 1-2 seconds in why. And she said, are you sure? Let's see about that. And then the weekend, and all the weekend, I don't know why. And I was like, why? Everything, why? And when you don't do your turn, the mask continue to live inside you. And when I did my turn on the Monday, because this was Friday, and to do the turn, you have to pass from the mask innocence through experience, or the other way around. And my innocence was pure joy. I was all pad, so everybody could kick me, and I was like indestructible. And then I did the turn. I wanted to go from the I'm invincible to the fear. And I was just in the big joy of being invincible. And at one point, I fell because the suit was too big, and the only place I could hurt myself, I fell on the head, and I just yelled because I was indestructible. And then I knew the mask don't lie. That was the mask. And Sue, with her clever eyes, just said, let's see about it. And it wasn't fear. It wasn't fear at all. It was just why. So that's the magic of the mask. And she always says, you think you're more interesting and you're more clever than your mask? Don't think so. And now I'm a true believer. Why?
Yeah, we all remember those things that Sue said to us. They stick in the mind. Thank you for that, Mélanie. Who else would like to share a little moment? Tomás. Oh, and this is Tomás, everybody.
Hi. I'm sorry because I'm here in a festival, and we are because we are going to present the show of Sue in like an hour and a half. So we are making the lights and everything, and this is kind of crazy. But I'm very glad here. I remember something, it's very short. I don't know if it's like important, but I remember very clear how she, like Sue, look at your eyes, and then something happened that you disarm. I mean, you like, or maybe she asked you to do something like pick this or move to that space, and then suddenly you disarm. It's very crazy because in Lima, for example, there is a very famous actor and very funny actor. And then he was doing like present yourself, like it's an exercise of the workshop. And he's like, you laugh at him. It's like funny to see him. But suddenly she said to him something like, and then suddenly he became a clown. I don't know what she did, like with the eyes or something. It's like, I don't know. It's like the connection or magic, or I don't know what she did in the workshops, but she do something that suddenly you disarm. I remember a lot of that, and that's why I took the workshop in Lima, like that 2 weeks. And with that part, I said, I have to go to Toronto. I have to go to Toronto to do the whole. Why, Chris, you're laughing a lot? Where
No, that's Sue laughing. Sue's laughing. Sue's joined
Perdón,
us. Welcome, Sue.
Estoy mirando a Sue, me da risa las pavadas que hace. Perdón.
hi, Sue.
Hi, everybody.
pasa?
Thank you for coming. I think it would be more interesting to hear you guys than for me. So everybody go.
That's a matter
Thank you,
opinion,
Sue.
but
Thank you, Sue. And that's all.
beautiful, Tomás. Thank you so much. We will definitely come to you in a moment, Sue, but I would love to hear anyone, maybe just one more story, if anybody, maybe Isaac or Marina or Chris, a moment from your workshop or your training with Sue.
¿Puedo decir algo?
Yeah, and Isaac, do you want to translate for Marina?
Sure.
Are you eating dinner? No.
Hola, Su.
Hola, hola.
Recuerdo la primera vez que hice el curso con Su de 3 días, que en realidad fue para mí de 2 días, que hice el ejercicio de present yourself y en
Isaac,
Buenos
do you want to
Aires.
just do that little chunk and then
Yeah,
let Marina
sure.
explain.
Yeah, Marina is saying that she remembers the first time she did the workshop with Sue, that it was supposed to be a 3-day, but it was actually a 2-day workshop for her that she did present yourself.
Y entré en la escena y Su me dijo, entré en la escena como lo que yo creía que para mí era estar vacía, simple, sensible, conectando con la audiencia.
And I entered the scene with what I believe was to being like in a open, neutral, or like like a empty state of being for me.
Y Su me miró y me dijo, deja de hacer eso.
And Sue looked at me and she said, "Stop that."
Entonces entré me metí atrás a la pata, me metí a la pata y realmente no sabía lo que estaba haciendo.
I went back behind the thing, the flat, and I felt that I really have no idea what I'm doing.
Entonces volví a aparecer y volvió a decirme, basta, deja de hacer eso.
And she came back, she tried again, and Sue said the same. Stop doing that. Don't do that anymore.
Y se entró atrás de la pata y vino al lado mío y me dijo, por favor, deja de hacer esto, basta de hacer lo que estás haciendo.
And she came all the way behind the flat and she told me, stop doing what you're doing.
Person.
Stop that.
Y entonces ahí aparecí sin saber lo que estaba pasando y ahí sentí que algo muy grande había ocurrido, que no podía entender, pero que realmente me había transformado.
Something switched. A transformation happened that I was not able to understand what was happening, but I then came on the scene again to do present yourself with a transformation, or transformed in a way.
Y al otro día no pude ir a clase porque tuve fiebre.
And the next day I couldn't attend because I had a fever.
Sí, yeah. And you had a show.
Fue muy profundo, solamente yo todavía no conocía su trabajo y fue muy profunda la conexión, la comunicación, su transmisión, y a partir de ahí empecé a buscarla todo el tiempo.
It was very, very deep, very profound, the connection, the communication. And from then on, I kept on looking for this work, searching for more.
So thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Sue, I just want to say thank you and for being here in such a busy moment. You're in the middle of teaching a workshop in Brazil.
Just finished. This was our last day.
How did it go?
It was fantastic. It was fantastic.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for being here. I just wonder, like, I saw you as Marina was telling that story. You were sort of like connecting and nodding, and yeah. What is your perspective on that as a teacher? What happened in that moment, and what you were trying to do as a
I don't
teacher?
know. I think, well, one thing I will just say off the top, I feel like I'm at my funeral and people are reading like I knew her when she had something. Anyway, but
At least you showed up.
this was, well, you know me, Barnaby, and it's clowns, so good luck. Yeah, I remember Marina, and I remember that she also had a show that she was playing, and this was in Buenos Aires. And I think she said after that that like even in her show, which she had been running, there was a shift or some kind of change. I don't know. You just you look and you see more the potential of people as opposed to their limitations, hopefully. And I don't
But
know, Barnaby.
it's almost as if when a person often steps out and present yourself thinking, I'm empty right now. They're still limiting themselves in some way. There's something there that's like,
Well, it's like you're full of being empty. You're full of trying to be something. So ergo, you're full already, And I would rather, and this concept of neutral, I don't think it helps us because it's like when someone comes out and they bring the possibility of themselves, not what they think they know about themselves, but also what they don't know about themselves, or what needs to be released, because, Barnaby, clowns very much about release. I think, you bring all that, just bring all your shit and, and let's see, what you have to navigate, it's more of and it's not a static point, I think that's important. It's a very fluid thing, clown being in it. Anyway, next.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I know that it's very important to you, Sue, and it's something that I really learned from you is this idea of acknowledging our roots, or our inspirations, and where we kind of brought this work from. And I just want to say a word to that as well, because I mean, as much as this panel is about you, it's about Clown Through Mask, and that's you're one of the carriers of that, the bearers of that. And so I just want to bring into the space of Richard Pochinko and to acknowledge his just huge influence on all of us here and on you, and also the influences that Richard had on him as well, including the Native American influence, the concept of clown from there, also the Lecoq and the European influence, and whatever else was present for him at that time, and lots of things.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I could start a workshop without acknowledging, Richard. I mean, it's his process, that he put together in order to express that Native American, North American concept of clown, which is if you ever face all directions of yourself at once, you can just laugh at the beauty of your own ridiculousness. So, yeah, but I mean, I've had fabulous improvisation teachers, and I work with Gaulier, and they, but also like Richard came from, like Lecoq said, you should just go back to Canada and make your own way of clown, new way of clown. So, I mean, there may be exercises that maybe have the same name, but he sort of turned them inside out. And, and I don't know, that's how we ended up with Clown Through Mask. And as much as it's an evolutionary workshop, the exercises or the experiences, they stay in place. You know, how I work with them, because hopefully, you know, you always go in like not knowing any, or I feel like I go in every time going, I don't know anything, but let's see. So anyway, it's like that. And Richard, I think, liked my improv background and wanted to maybe he wanted the clowns to really transition to theater again or something like that. And so I was very, 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 very lucky. Very lucky.
There's you know, I never met Richard, and the small video footage there is of him sort of teaching some of the work is one of the things that stood out for me, was him saying, you know, you have to give the audience something. You have to bring something beautiful that is like a gift that, you know, is for them. There has to be this kind of like
Sure.
sense of, you know, I'm here for you. My responsibility is you, the audience.
That's interesting. I mean, I think the years I was with him, I don't think I ever heard him say that literally. But I mean, it's that concept of coming in, because for me, it's kind of, I don't know if it's that, because it's what you have when you come out, if you don't necessarily have a script, is you have your mask, and that's the offer, you know, is you. So once you take away the script, the props, the skill, what's left, you know? And for me, that's where the masks, you know, live, you know, really. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I'm not doing well, Barnaby, at this. It's hard to talk about it.
No, you're doing amazing. It is hard to talk about. I think a lot of people also listening won't necessarily know that there's the simple outline structure of the six masks is something that is taught over a number of weeks or months, and you do that every year, right, in Toronto, Sue, like the full workshop. I'd really like to talk a little bit about how those masks as internalized states become manifested in different people and in different people's actual stage work. So I'd love to come back to some of the others of you in the panel to talk a little bit about your creative process with Sue, because many of you have made shows, not all of you, but many of you have made shows with Sue where you've worked with those masks, have been kind of like the starting point, the raw material that you start to devise from. So I don't know, maybe Isaac, you've made a show that with Sue. You could maybe start with a little insight into what does that creative process look like for you, from masks to, you know, theater to the stage.
Yeah, sure. The work that we have done together, we did work on a show together. It hasn't been premiered yet, but I would say that it's, for me, the first thing that came when you threw the question at me. It's been a work of acceptance, a lot of acceptance. And I think for me ties a bit with what you were asking before, like what was the thing in the workshop. Like I always remember, like don't let yourself be defined by only one thing, and that stuck with me very deeply. I feel like I was not doing that in my life or on stage, and that opened possibilities for me. That created like this whole other world. And working with Sue, we spent a lot of time sort of one-on-one. It's kind of like what we do with 16 people, but now it's you and your teacher and Sue. So it's like there's no place to hide. There's no place. There's no place to hide, and you just have to. And it's beautiful. It's painful sometimes. It's like I gave up a few times. I came back thinking I could conquer the world. You know what? Like it's a whole roller coaster of I don't know how to say it, of things, of I don't know, of life that starts sort of coming out, and you catch yourself or try and capture some of those moments and put them in some sort of order or some sort of logical way, or I don't know, like you try to create something beautiful out of improvisation, out of opening up your heart, yourself up to what you don't know about yourself, you know. For me, it has been a bit like that. It's been yeah, intense and beautiful.
Lovely description.
It's relentless. It's relentless. It's relentless. And if I can just say that it's not necessary for you to know what the show is about at the beginning. You know, that's sort of revealed through conversation, through some prop maybe, you know, and yeah, so there's an arc of acceptance that's required, because I don't want people to, you know, come in with, like, they can come in with a big idea and then we find out very quickly that's not like, that's so big. And then what, you know, and how does that fit into this other reality that's being created between, you know, in this complicity. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
No, that's great. I'm loving this dynamic as well, just to say, in the conversation. Because guess what, you guys? This isn't scripted.
And it's clowns, so bon chance.
And I'm just sort of like, I'm just opening my heart in this moment and just feeling the gratitude to all of you just for being here, and it's lovely just sharing this work. I feel like we all have this thing, this experience in common, like we speak the same language, and there's such a strong bond. And even though we never really met, I never met many of you until this moment today. So Mélanie, I'm curious about your show. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
With great pleasure and honor.
Oh, Mélanie! Oh my God, hi. Oh.
Thank you. First of all, I just want to say I didn't know in what adventure I was getting with Sue Morrison. I just had the urge because at that time, I just lost my sister, and I told myself, if I have to die and I didn't do a clown, that will be even worse than me dying. So I had to do. So I called Sue, and I arrived with an idea because I thought that's how we create a show. And no, that's not it. And I say, oh, I don't know if I'm going to talk. She say, believe me, you're going to talk. Okay. And I didn't do Joey in August. So it was the first time I spoke through my mask. So it was a really weird experience. And I just discovered all with her, and she's always there. And it's painful, but oh my God, what a painful and wonderful. It's like life. Often painful, often wonderful, if you just say yes. And it's painful because as clown teach us, as the process go with Sue, you just need to unlearn all you have learned to survive. So when you go through the process, you face the fear, you face your own limitation, and you try to understand, because you have to just believe in the masks. And for me, as a doer, to receive love, I have to give something and to do something and to do it perfectly. That was really painful. And I tried just to grab something I understand, and at that moment, I just accept and just believed and just follow Sue, because it's really a conversation. When we create the show, she's always there and we speak together, and in fact, she calls the masks and what the mask needs. So she calls them, and you're just in improv with a camera with Sue, that let never you down, or even when you struggle, she pushes you harder. And that show, at the end, it was like 150 pages because we have to transcribe everything. And that's the even more painful part. You have to look at yourself the night and you have to, oh my God, I see, oh no, I did. And we don't write who's saying what. And at the end, we just cut what we love the most and what's not love, but moves us. And at the end, you have 6 pages of a show which blend the meeting, the conversation of Sue and I, and what all those masks needed to say, what I needed to be. And it's a beautiful show, of course, about the loss and the mourning and the death of course, there is my sister, but the dreams, but and all our griefs that we shared, and they are all in the show. And this is just, it's trying to put some words, but it's something else. Sue Morrison, Pochinko's Clown True Mask. And for me, it's an experience, life experience, and it helps me through the mourning of my sister and through life. And I think I'm a best human being using that still today. So thank you, Sue. Thank you, Barnaby, to have inviting us to share that.
I think, Mélanie, you weren't going to come back after the second week, I think, or something. Wasn't it?
Didn't we all have that? I think we all had that moment.
I'm not the only one.
No.
It's part of the show.
Come on, Sue. You can tell the story about me if you want. It's fine. I don't mind.
So Barnaby and I and Anthony were going to make a 2-person show. And then something happened in Anthony's life and he couldn't make the show, but I was already in England. And so I thought, well, I'll just have a holiday in England. And Barnaby was like, Barnaby's a worker, doer guy. He's like, no, we're going to make a show. We're going to make a show. And I think one of the best lines, Barnaby, is, friendship can be one-sided. Oh, and the other fantastic line is, I've got to find something to care about. And Barnaby, we were out having tea and there was a guy playing a piano and you said, oh, I wish I could play the piano that well. I was like, well, let's have a piano in the show. I can't remember something. And then Barnaby, it was just wonderful. I love that. I do love all the shows, but I love that show, Flawed Genius. It's just so perfect. And I feel like the shows that each of you make or don't make, they are prophetic. Like you think you're making it about what's happened or what's happening, but it's actually comes more true in the future than it is even in that moment, which is interesting. So because I look at a show as a very living thing, because you are living and you're evolving or devolving every day. And your relationship with Clown and your relationship with the show and how you work with yourself, how you work with yourself in the show. This is all makes it like it's got to be happening in that moment, that fresh moment. We have the script, but you're also in the new moment of that when you're presenting your work. And you have to be brave because it doesn't necessarily look like other shows. Maybe.
Yeah, they're really distinctive looking, these shows. It's hard to put the finger on what it is. It's almost as though the dramaturgy is different. Like they have a different life thing driving them.
Could be.
The masks, maybe, what the masks need to express.
Yeah, no, but then, who are the masks? What are the masks? It's really, I think it's you in some way. Because the masks are there so that we can articulate what we otherwise couldn't express. Like if I ask you to, tell me something about yourself, you'd tell me some literal things or like, oh, my mommy didn't like me or something. But that's not really, that's not really the manifestation of this person. I mean, it's part of it, but it's not all of it. Anyway, next.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
It's Tatiana speaking. Hello. I want to refer to what Mélanie said earlier before. She mentioned you have to believe in the mask. I'm not very familiar with this whole mask thing. What does it mean you have to believe in the mask?
Does anybody
Maybe I
want to
should
take?
ask Mélanie because she said it. But
Do you want to respond to that, Mélanie? Then we'll
in-
see if Sue agrees.
Yeah. Oh. You have to believe that going through the mask is enough. They will go put you where you need to be. They will give what needs to be. You don't, it's not ideas. You just go on, you enter the mask, you go, you offer yourself to them, and they know where to go. They know what to say. They know what to do. So stop fighting with the idea and believe the mask will bring you.
I think there's even a more basic level of context that maybe we could provide, which is that Clown Through Mask as a process involves creating 6 masks. Each participant creates 6 masks, and each mask has a direction. There's north, east, south, west, above, and below. And you physically make a mask in the workshop, and you then embody, internalize, or discover the essence of the mask in yourself, in your body, and its qualities, and you go on a journey with that mask. And after that workshop, you don't wear the mask physically again. You just wear it that on that one occasion. But then the mask, the essence of the mask, is something that you can drop in, you can step into at any time after that. So it's kind of like a constellation of states or of places, emotional qualities that you can then draw on. But as Sue was saying, they do change, so they're not static things.
It's not like it's a mask. It's not like a larva mask or a comedia mask that has a specific character assigned to it. It's there's a process that you do, a bit of a process of work before you even make the mask, and then definitely before you wear the mask, and all of those layers allow you to explore the mask. And there's 2 sides in every mask. There's an innocence and an experience. For us, we are interested in the innocence after experience, because innocence before experience is just like, it's just naive, stupid. It doesn't understand anything about humanity. But innocence after experience, like you understand survival. There's been some sacrifice or, some growth. And that's much more interesting to everybody.
Yeah.
So,
Hopefully that
yeah,
helps
so-
a little bit with just giving people a bit more of that context, because I know we're really jumping into a conversation that has some assumptions.
And it's very, it's a really hard workshop to describe anyway. And, if you ever have to write anything about it, it's very like, I don't know, sounds a bit woojy, but it's actually very grounded, very present kind of work.
Tomás is in a theater, and we can see the auditorium. Tomás, are you having to go and get ready for the show?
Hey, Tomás, what are you doing?
Where are you at
Hi,
in the
Sue.
process?
Hey, Tomás.
We are doing the show right now.
Oh,
we are making the lights and everything.
oh,
You can
lovely.
see people.
Show us around.
There is no people right now, but
Hopefully there will be.
people. There is no people right now. But we are making the lights right now of the show.
Sure. Is there anything you want to say?
Tell us about the show.
Yes, I wanted to say something that, like, to complement. I don't know how, if I'm. Thank you. Well, to complement the words of Mélanie is like, I think and I feel that I'm getting, I am getting like, ¿cómo es? Like, I'm continue getting know the work and myself while I'm performing it, because nowadays I have the possibility to present the show several times, and not only in the same city, like in Lima, in Buenos Aires, and now in Rio. And it's very special because it's like like knowing myself again during the presentation of the show. And also it's like people like saying after watching the show is like not funny but also profound, and
And a
it's
bit
very
funny.
special to
A bit funny.
and a bit funny. Yes, and a bit funny. And also that it's very different to present it in Lima and Buenos Aires, like people connect in the funny way, but in every city that I have presented the show is like they feel the profound, you know. They can have funny Lima in part 1, but in Rio like in part 2, like in Buenos Aires like in part 3. But the profound, it's always present, like the emotions, like something people get after the show, like something here, like in the body. And now I'm going to work. Thank you.
Thank you. Thomas,
Big hug,
Thomas,
break
thank
a
you.
nose.
Thank you for being here in this moment of, like
Thank
scrum
you.
before the show. It's really wonderful to meet you. And
Hi, Sue. Hi,
Bye,
Sue.
break
Thank
a
you,
nose.
Barnaby, and thank you, Sue, for making this virtual space.
yeah.
Buena función.
Thank you. Gracias, Marina.
Look, there's the technicians.
You know, Barnaby, remember when I gave you a piano and
Yes.
and it was lost?
Yes.
I'm not saying you lost it, but it was lost.
Oh, look.
Yeah.
Thomas has a
Then,
piano.
yeah, and that you gave me that piano that he uses. So I brought that piano into rehearsal one day, and then the show came right together. So so even within this group, the shows have a.
I want to play it.
Like
I want to
that.
play it right now. Oh.
Wow, yeah. So he uses
So you
that's
never-
his piano now.
I don't remember that story. That's really cool.
It is very cool. Yeah.
Who knows where that piano is? I was on a plane to New York Clown Festival, and I got off New York Airport, and one of my whole suitcases was missing, with half
With
of
the
my
show
stuff,
in it.
with half
Pretty
of the
wild.
show, and I never got it back.
Wow.
I'd love to
Hard to lose a
transition.
piano.
I'd love to transition a little into, because we only have like 20 minutes left, and I really want to talk about the I suppose the wider impact of Clown Through Mask in the clowning, in the field of clowning. And here on the screen we have Chris and Marina from Argentina, Tomás from Peru, Isaac from Brazil, Mélanie from Canada. Chris, I'm wondering if I could come to you first. In Argentina, I know Clown Through Mask has had a lot of impact. I wonder do you have some thoughts about how Clown Through Mask is impacting or affecting the culture of clowning or the field of clowning where you are?
Should you translate that?
Está preguntándote, Chris, si puedes compartir cómo crees tú o cómo piensas, cómo sientes tú que este trabajo, Clown Through Mask, ha afectado, no sé si decir la escena, el mundo de clown en Argentina, en donde el trabajo que tú haces, el trabajo alrededor tuyo.
Yo creo que sí, porque Primero porque creo que es un trabajo absolutamente transformador y que hay que experimentarlo. O sea, si uno no es atravesado por la experiencia, no lo podés transmitir, lo tenés que vivir. Y creo que la gente...
Espera un momento, Chris, para que
Sorry, sorry.
traduzca.
No, todo bien. I feel like the work has definitely influenced the clowning scene in Argentina, or the clowning world in Argentina. For me, it's a work that you have to experience in order to be able to know about it or talk about it or transmit it in any way.
Mm.
Y creo que la gente que, digamos, yo no termino de hacer el trabajo de Sue, hago mi versión y trato de ser lo más profunda, porque el trabajo me parece sumamente profundo, transformador y gracias a una gran maestra que es Sue, una gran maestra, te impacta de una manera que después uno hace lo mejor que puede. Eh,
Yeah.
lo
So
mejor que puede. Ajá.
she's talking a bit maybe from the point of view that Chris is also a clown master teacher for many years,
Sí,
and
that's right.
she is saying that after you experience the work with Sue, it impacts you because she feels it's a very transformative work, and it impacts you in a way that you cannot not do it. And what she's been trying to do as she passes on her teachings is like to do her best. She does her own style, her own way, her own exercises, her own point of view, but it's definitely all I don't know, a bit wet in, or I don't know, permeated by the work that she did with Sue.
Soy tu karma, Isaac.
Co- y no me
Siempre,
importa, el mejor.
siempre me tenés que traducir. Pero bueno, me parece un trabajo que la humanidad deberíamos transitar. La humanidad
I,
entera.
I feel that it's a work that humanity should experience, should transit at some point.
El mundo sería otro, creo.
I believe, it's my belief that the world would be different if we had a chance all to transit this process.
Wow, I'm tired already. Okay. Come on, everybody. Let's go.
Yo ya estoy cansada, te dice Chris.
Bueno, Su,
Ya me cansé.
bueno.
Bueno, bye
Hay
bye.
una cosa más, la extraño muchísimo.
And
¿Qué
I
decís
miss
de
her a lot.
I
Marina,
miss.
Marina, Marina, ¿has visto algo en Buenos Aires, en Argentina, como la cultura de clown ha sido afectado por este trabajo de clown a través de la máscara?
Me cuesta hablar de Argentina porque Argentina es muy grande y muy diversa.
It's very
Eh,
hard for me to speak about Argentina because Argentina is huge and very diverse.
Mm.
pero puedo hablar desde el trabajo de cómo me influyó a mí en crear y en dar clases, ¿no?
Perfecto.
But I can speak a bit of how it had influenced me and how I teach.
Em, Cuando terminé el trabajo de Sue en Toronto, tenía mucho material, muchas imágenes. eh, eh, no sabía qué hacer con toda la información profunda que tenía.
When I finished the work with Sue in Toronto, I came back with a lot of material, a lot of images, a lot of feelings, and I had no idea what to do with all of that.
Entonces ahí me encontré con Chris, que ya nos conocíamos porque Chris fue mi primer maestra.
And then I met Chris because Chris was my first teacher.
Y, y ahí le pedí que nos reunamos para crear un espectáculo con las máscaras. Em,
And I asked her to get together so we could create a show.
y entonces ahí creamos el espectáculo, se llamó 6, porque son
And
las
the
6
show,
máscaras.
the clown is called Six because it's the 6 masks.
Y fue una experiencia totalmente diferente a la que había transitado en mis otros trabajos, sobre todo porque lo que puedo decir es que la obra es un recorrido, es un universo, un proceso, y no puedo decir que es una sola cosa, sino que la obra la viví como un camino, como las capas,
And I felt like that, and I feel like I cannot describe this show that has the six masks as something specific, but it's like a universe. It's like a parkour. It's like a way that I transit when I do it.
Y como lo que descubrí como intérprete o como actriz clown.
And what I discovered as an interpreter, as an artist, as a clown,
es que se amplió como una dimensión diferente de la comunicación y la conexión unida conmigo y con la audiencia. Es como no es un sentimiento más profundo, es una dimensión más profunda. ¿Se entiende?
and for me, the only way I can say it is that after doing this work, is like another dimension open in every way, in the connecting way, in the way I work, in everything. Like it's not something I can say like, oh, it's that I feel more connected or anything. It's like another whole dimension opened up, expanded, sort of my work.
Y por último, no necesariamente es porque es como más expresivo, sino todo lo contrario, porque la comunicación se volvió mucho más íntima no es que era como más, era todo más grande, sino era más conectado, ¿se entiende?
And I don't mean that the expression or my interpretation got bigger or more flamboyant or bigger in any way. I mean in the sense that the connection became more intimate and more full, more richer.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Gracias, Marina. I invited Francesca and spotlighted Francesca as well. Francesca, welcome, and very welcome to join in the conversation. Have you made a show with Sue or worked with her? I know that you're definitely familiar with the work. You'll need to unmute.
Yeah. Hello, and hi, Sue. Hi, Sue. Hi, everybody. Hi, so nice to see you all. And no, I think I'm in a long waiting list to do a show with Sue. I'm asking her this long time. But I like Cristina and Marina and Isaac. I'm following Sue since 2013 when I did the Clown Through Mask. And it changed completely my idea and my perception of clown, and I couldn't go back. So I took 2 years to really start to understand the masks. And and after that I was following Sue wherever. So we were in Ibiza, in Italy, and in Ireland and wherever.
Ireland,
yeah. And my experience is, I repeat a bit, same that Marina and Chris and Mélanie says, is something the change from it changed. Yes, the idea that you have of yourself, of your clown, who you think your clown is, and you discover more who you really are. So, and sometimes it's not so nice at the beginning. It's like, okay, this is what it is. But then you cannot escape and you cannot avoid what you find. So you start little by little to like it and to say like, okay, I can laugh about it. I can enjoy, and I learned with Sue to get angry, and still now is my strongest mask. So
Mask.
five experience. Yeah, and was a huge change, a huge transformation, and I'm still learning a lot. I teach as well, but I cannot teach in another direction. I mean, I have to look things in this way, with these eyes, because for me there is and before and after. So for me there is no another vision of clowns. So this deep journey into yourself, and to really trust the mask, trust what you are, what you feel in the moment, and try to stay there and keep it and believe.
It is hard to find language, words, because you know it's an embodied experience, right? If you could describe it in words, it wouldn't be what it is. So Francesca, thank you so much for that. Really helpful, really beautiful insight.
Thank you. Sue.
Ciao, Francesca. Talk later.
Isaac, I wanna come back to you because I think that Brazil has been one of the sort of most profound relationships, maybe, Sue, that you've had with since for a really long time now. Was it with Lume and Naomi and Ricardo that you first?
Yes, I first met, should I say? Because I met, was teaching in France. Naomi, I think, had finished a year or two at Lecoq, but was feeling unsettled. And I think someone in the waiting room or something there said, oh, I don't know, Sue Morrison, I think I've heard of her. You should find her. And she came in, was part of the workshop in France. And, I look at the process of work as building a personal mythology. And then when I was there, I met Ricardo. He came to visit. And then they invited me to Brazil, which was really, wonderful. And I've met amazing people here. Well, I'm here in different parts. And Naomi would translate for me and that kind of thing. So they were the doorway, and then just kept coming. But I mean, culturally, you go to different countries, and culturally, I think what's fantastic too is like people from all different countries are sort of coming together and meeting each other, and having to find a level with each other, and be inspired by each other, and to support each other. And I think something really fantastic comes out of all you guys coming together in some way. I think it's great.
Isaac, why did you feel it was so important to bring Sue into, because you set up workshops for her in Brazil, and that's a lot of work, I know, because I've done it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how much credit I can take for that. Actually, I think
That's Diane.
Diane, the place we were at now, there's a wonderful producer, human being there that she took care. She carried almost everything, all the weight. So I don't feel comfortable taking almost any credit for that. But I would say, like, here in Brazil, I think Clown Through Masks has been huge, from what I understand. I'm not Brazilian myself. I'm from Venezuela. I was born in Venezuela, and I've been living in Canada for many years now. But my wife is Brazilian, and it's sort of like what you were saying, like Lume 30 years or something like that, Sue, ago.
God, I don't even.
Yeah, something like that, and like it's like generations now people that have known the work from like the master of the master that have worked with Sue, or someone who has worked with Sue. Like they have developed their own way of teachings, or they have developed their own shows and stuff. And I remember I used to tease Sue, telling her like, I'm gonna take you everywhere in South America because I want everyone in South America to know about this work. And little did I know, like everyone already knew. I was the new guy coming in, and everyone else knew about this already. So it was very funny to me. But everyone here, all the people that pretty much a lot of the people that we meet have gone through in some way or another through the process of Clown Through Mask. And I hope Sue keeps coming and coming and coming until
you see what's happening now is because I'm old now and getting older, the work has to pass on. Like Richard asked me to be his apprentice, to his protege, to carry on the work. And I have people like Isaac, because he's not just a translator for me. I mean, he understands the work, so he can translate the work, because it's not a literal, it's not like a literal translator job. Anyway, so I'm excited to, I don't know, excited. I don't know. I'm happy, well, maybe, but to see the people that are going to be carrying this on. And, a lot of these people, you may not know it yet, but you're going to be carrying it on.
There ain't no place I'd rather be. You're lighter than the sun and the stars to me. Everybody's family at the Clown Virgin.